thing does not work. All right? When you're coming in with strategy, a bad strategy implemented violently succeeds. And a good strategy that is not implemented at all remains on the shelf for a very long time. Some of you who call yourself presidents, you are going to get stoned by your very members because we cannot put you into power, and then you come around with security people to protect us, to protect yourself from us who put you in power. No, it's us who need security from you because you are the thief and you are the murderer amongst us. So we don't need to fear you if we put you into power. We may need to resort to some violent ways of getting these things done. I'm not saying we kill anybody, no. But as Irumba said, how can 52 men and women fail to undo what 10, 12 men did in Berlin Conference? Just the common sense of that. Few white boys, uncircumcised white boys, few white boys sit around a table and they take a ruler and they draw on the map. And up to now, another 100 years later, we are struggling to undo what they did. I'll make it very simple for you, for the younger viewers. Ladies and gentlemen, all our African governments are illegitimate. Swallow that slowly. All our governments are illegitimate. I'm glad I have a lawyer next to me today. Let's go, my brother. Let's talk like intellectuals. Why? I must qualify why I say they're illegitimate. Well, there's no way you can run a country based on Berlin Conference. And Berlin Conference was illegitimate because it was not democratic. The people that you were dividing their country for were not present. And we did not give you veto power to make that decision on our behalf. So Berlin Conference, legally speaking, it was an illegitimate meeting, which had results, of course, of political will and militarization to enforce, though illegitimate. You can't come back to me in 2025 and say, I'm a president of Zambia, I'm a president of Zimbabwe, I'm a president of Uganda. Based on what? Based on Berlin. So if Berlin was illegitimate, there's no African president here. All of you, tell them. Read my lips. There is no African country. Our country is Africa. These are just provinces. The province of Uganda, the province of Kenya, the province of Zimbabwe. The country is Africa. So while we are talking about the United States of Africa, point of correction, you may want to, with my instruction, take a black marker and rub off the word states. Because those states are non-existent. It must just be United Africa, full stop. There are no states in Africa. Don't give us that illusion of America as if we're different states. We don't want to be African states. We are the state. Africa is a country by herself. So this is United Africa, full stop.
Teach, Maponga, teach.
Having said that, I want to throw some few arrows in the direction of our business community. We need to legitimize our presence. We need to colonize our governments. We need to corrupt our governments with our money. The business community. Black Africans. Don't take your money and run to Dubai. Buy these mines. Invest locally. Because if you don't, the Chinese are coming. Life does not allow for a vacuum. And then you complain, our things are going. These people are coming, are taking our things. But when you have the money, you don't put your money where your mouth is. So we need African bankers who can roll our programs to the community. We need African insurance companies who can ring fence our finances. We need financial engineers. We no longer need slogans. Viva, viva what, viva what? We're no longer going to battle here. We are going to the boardrooms of international business conversations. We need some people who understand the guerrilla warfare of finance. How do we transform our economies? I'll give you just one little illustration and I sit down. We needed to start studying first. Thank you, Professor. We need to start creating an educational system that teaches children about their resources that they're standing on. First things first. Don't tell me how many legs does a grasshopper have. Tell me what is underneath my feet. What is at the bottom here. Here. Tell me what is on top of the ground. Me, human resource. Tell me what is above my head. Technologies. When you don't have nothing to do with the air, you can even sell airtime. There's business in the air here. There's business here. There's business here. 3 things only that an African child must understand. What am I standing on? Who is standing on it? And what is above his head and her head? If we can begin to orient our children on how to access these resources, not just access them, then beneficiate them. Not just beneficiate them, then manufacture them. Not just manufacture them, then distribute them, market them, and the access of it for the international community. What am I talking about? Start building value chains. Start building value chains. The Ankole cows are most popular and most resilient. I don't know why we can't fill up the Africa with those Ankole cows. Back to ancient Egypt. Increase the breeds. You are Ugandans, you have one of the biggest stock of these things. There's no reason why these animals cannot fill up the entire continent and repopulate ourselves with a proper breed of cattle. Creating value chains. You know how much is one Ankole cow in South Africa? One. Kuluma. One Ankole cow. How much will it cost you in South Africa? Those things are worth millions. You have them walking around here for 200,000 Ugandan shillings and whatever you're selling them for here. And you don't know you're sitting on a world market where these things are good for milk, good for horns, good for skins, resilient, and etc. And until we begin to look at ourselves as Africans as the market that consumes our products. So all of you guys who have money, I'm teaching you the quickest way to corrupt the government is the fastest way also of moving forward. And when you make money with government, don't be embarrassed to spend that money in the place where you have made it. Come on. If we trust you with our money, we must be good enough to share that money with you. So we are looking for serious businessmen. I wish I could have another 100 Dangotes around the continent who can solve the oil problem, solve the car manufacturing problem, solve the solar system problem. Here we are in Zimbabwe, South Africa, shipping out platinum in tons and tons into China. They take raw materials. They don't even tell you in one platinum ore, there are 14 other minerals they're not paying for. They're just paying for the raw material only, which is stones of platinum. And then these things go somewhere very far. And then they come back as lithium batteries. And we are paying an arm and a leg. How stupid can we be as Africans? Telling me that you are all engineers here? Engineer, electrical engineer. Magma summa cum laude. From the university. Up to now, you still cannot help Uganda to make one lithium battery. Oh, for crying out loud, if you are stupid like me, just buy one. And then dismantle it. Then look inside what is there. And try and make it again. That's how China built its economy. We call that reverse re-engineering. Hello, somebody? Reverse? Go buy some caterpillars and break them to pieces. And then manufacture the new pieces, assemble it. Don't even call it Zomyong. Call it Kaguta. Anything that you want. Give it a local name. China, that's what they're doing with cell phones, with clothes, with technology, with cars, with computers. Some of that technology, they've not discovered it themselves. They buy it from the West and re-engineer it. This is what we want to start seeing in our schools. Gentlemen, no more writing 10 papers. And then you come to a conference, they've got small little blue thing in their hands. The problem is somewhere here. The problem is, no, it's not there. The problem is here. Here. It's not on the wall. We needed to start moving, ladies and gentlemen, towards a reconciliation of our systems. Our banking systems must speak to our government institutions. And you who are busy doing law, that law is illegitimate also. Ask me why. These laws have no relationship with us. They don't even know who owns the land. And when two people are discussing land that belongs to another, theft is rife. Put the bank here, and put the government here, and they start talking about land which belongs to the kings, someone is getting stolen, someone is getting robbed right there. So this concept of using the foreign forms of governance, we need you as young men who can now sit down and re-engineer what can we call a common law amongst us as Africans. I'll educate you quickly. There are only 3 laws we need as I'm sitting down. Law number 1, the law of self-preservation. Come on. The law of, all of us, the law of, if I find you drunk, walking on the road, and you cannot see your way home, you are a criminal. Because you are now about to kill yourself. Looking after yourself must be business number 1.
Teach, Maponga, teach.
Eat well, drink well, sleep well, live well. Looking after this is a legal responsibility of every African. Don't eat everything like a pig. The country of Africa cannot do with a sick African. You go to Philadelphia right now, in some parts of America, they are zombified on full drugs. They're just going in the home of freedom, the land of the free. And you wonder if these monsters come here with that freedom of drugs, where will they leave us? Anyone who is involved in destroying life is a criminal to the African. You, as an African, look after you. You owe yourself a bit of exercise. You owe yourself some glasses of water. You owe yourself a good waistline. You owe yourself good looks. Look after yourself. Self-preserve yourself. It's a legal responsibility of looking at teach young children how to look after themselves. We don't have vagabonds that are walking around the town here who are a mess to all of us. Number 2, the law of establishing families. That's the second law. Here you put all your legalities around the setting up of homes in an African culture. How are homes established? Husband and wives. How are children? So we need to learn laws of family establishments and the dynamics. When you cannot have children, what must you do? You must do surrogacy. Go and buy some foreign sperms in the bank and produce things that you don't know, some criminals who are busy masturbating over a video, and then you want to produce that as a child? You want to produce that as a child? When we have our own African methods of managing infertility, from the corners of negotiating with sister wives, negotiating with uncles and cousins, and making sure that this issue is resolved, even in the event that a young sister can birth a child and give it to you to look after that child. I mean, don't you find this sensible and human? The laws of family establishment. Law number 3, Honorable Lawyer, the laws of estate and how to do business on the land. How do we transact? How do we take guarantees from each other? And the first principle on law number 3, any man who sells land is a thief and is selling the future of his children. Land is unsellable. Because no one amongst us has a first receipt from the one who created it. So here's your land and you paid. No one owns land. Our land owns us. From it we came. To it we shall return. So we can teach these simple principles of how to develop a legally conscious community of young people. Look after yourself. Come on. Look after. Oh, I'm speaking in 2 ways now. Look after
Self.
Look after your mind. Look after yourself. Secondly, look after your family with passion. And thirdly, look after your land. For any time you give a man the land underneath his feet, if he does not own the land between his ears and the furniture between their legs, the land underneath their feet will always suffer. We therefore are in the business of developing ownership of the first piece of land here. And when this is in full ownership, we can talk about procreation and ultimately, how do we maximize our resources? This is how I want you to think. This is how I want you to feel. And this is how I want you to do.
Thank you very much, Bishop.